first day of spring, and I just wanna sing to everything that's moving, every single little thing. To them birds flying free, fish in the sea, flowers and trees, every little bumblebee. I wanna sing. To the kids playing hoops, going loop-de-loop, their rainbow-colored bouncy balls and their ice cream scoops. Got my shoes in my hand and my feet in the sand. I got 20 ducklings in a row like a little marching band, and they sing.
Put these.
Hey buddy, thank you for doing that for me. Can you just go ahead and put them up on the table at the wash and pack station?
Yes, sir.
And any other living thing or creature I can think of, I want to sing. I want to sing.
I also need to dump these microgreens in the compost. We already harvested from this tray and they're growing again. Josiah, why don't you just leave this tray and we can harvest it another day or two? Okay, let's rock and roll.
One of the things I forgot to do is to remind Josiah to bunch the radishes in the basket together. So hopefully it's not chaos in his basket. But I'm almost done here with this arugula. I'm just gonna harvest this whole 25-foot bed of arugula. Today is harvest day, so we have a number of crops that we're harvesting. And as I'm harvesting this arugula here, I'm pretty excited because we have cucumbers that are coming in, and right behind me here, let's take a look here. So in here we have some patty pan squash and lemon squash, and I've actually never grown either one of those before, so I'm pretty excited to see how they turn out. The lemon squash is from Baker Creek, and so is the patty pan squash that we're growing here. So looks like right now we're getting ready to have our first fruits come in, and we typically donate the first fruits that we get from the harvest. And what first fruits are is the first harvest that you get from your plant. So it's the very first ones you get are called the first fruits. Well, I'm gonna finish harvesting this arugula here and knock it out, but I think Lacie is working on her apothecary garden right now. I have trouble with that word apothecary sometimes. It doesn't always roll off my tongue like apothecary.
Let's go see what Mommy's doing in her garden like Daddy said. Hey Mama, what you doing?
Well, I'm just weeding in my garden right now.
What all are you growing in your garden?
Well, I got lots of stuff. I have our comfrey that we've been growing a long time, and I have borage and calendula and basil. I have some tomatoes and cucumbers and flowers. Just a lot of stuff that I want to grow.
Mommy, why are you cutting down the comfrey?
Well, it's just too big and it grows really fast. So I'm cutting it back so my other plants can get light and they can grow. And then this comfrey is just gonna come right back.
Hey Josiah, what Would you take some of these bad collards to the chickens for me?
Yeah. Daddy, there's water droplets on one. You can play with them. Water drop hop. This one's been eating. Hey, look at this. Whoa, that one's cool. Chicken. Tastes like chicken. Wait, I am a chicken. Hey, I want it.
So I have arugula harvested, have kale here that I just harvested, have some collards here that we harvested, and some lettuce for our salad mix. I'll mix that with our arugula and some of the baby lettuce or baby kale that we have here. And here's the radishes, some of the radishes that Josiah and Micah helped me harvest. They did a great job. However, I should have provided them with a little bit of coaching on and reminder on putting them in the basket. So they're kind of just randomly in here. So just have to clean them off, bunch them up, organize them. So I'm going to use this buggy here to wash off the radishes. It's something I'm trying. We'll see how it goes. It sounds crazy using a buggy. We're going to give it a shot. Typically when I'm harvesting radishes and I'm bunching them, I like to bunch them in the field, in the garden beds that they're in, and then bring them up to be washed. But we didn't do that this time, and I'm trying this buggy out here. And with the buggy, you can wash them off anywhere. But when I'm bunching them, I typically like to put a rubber band on my wrist, so that way after you bunch them together, you can just reach over, grab your rubber band, bunch them real quick, just like that.
Well, it's getting pretty hot out here, and I'm pretty much done with weeding my apothecary garden. There was a lot going on down here on this end, but I still have one more thing to remove. This right here is yellow dock. It's also called curly dock. Sometimes I think it's called yellow root, but it grows pretty much everywhere. It puts off a ton of seeds. So we're gonna dig this up and get it out of the way. Here we go. So while I take this up here to see Mike, Selah and Josiah, can you take all the comfrey that I chopped down and go give it to the chickens and the ducks?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I see you're packaging up radishes.
Yep, harvest day, knocking out the harvest. So you got some yellow dock there. That is fantastic. You know what, today is a good day to go ahead and knock out and harvest a lot of the yellow dock that's in the market garden. So we can definitely do that a little bit later today. It's a little hot right now. But in the meantime, you can put that yellow dock in my new harvesting bin that I'm using. Booyakasha! Our own shopping cart. We could just harvest, put our harvest in our own basket. It's like you're just going grocery shopping around your farm. So in the meantime, you can go ahead and put the yellow dock right in here, and then later on today, when it cools off, we'll get the rest of the dock out in the market garden, and we can share with our viewers how to use yellow dock.
There we go.
Well, I have some more harvesting and packaging to do because we have customers to deliver to tomorrow, so I gotta get this done. But stay tuned, because here in a few moments, we're gonna talk to you about the yellow dock. It's just gonna be a few moments for you, but it's gonna be a few hours for us because it's just the way it works. Are you exercising? How are you doing? Yeah. Yeah. Can you do that? Yeah. Can you do that? Yeah. Let's see. Good. Whoa. Whoa. Look at there. Oh, he's super strong. Whoa. Look here. You can put it on your back. And you can do squat. Can you do a squat? Right there. There you go. Whoa, can you show Josiah how to do that? Hey, come here, Josiah. Yep. Show him how to do a squat, Micah. Can you do a squat with it? You gotta put it on the back. Yep. Feet a little wider apart. Keep the feet wide. Yep. There you go.
I'm at the end of my set, so I'm gonna rest. I did 40 shovels on each side, and then I take a break. Then I'll go back. So that's right there is 160 shovels of dirt.
Farm fit, ladies and gentlemen. Farm fit. Isn't that right, Micah? Mm-hmm. You playing in your hole over here?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little dirt hole. You got some nice shade there. Alrighty, so we spent a majority of the day harvesting, washing, and packaging produce since this is our harvest day. But after we got done with all of that, Josiah went with me to our local landfill where we got some leaf compost. And as we were getting the leaf compost, this excavator was huge and this backhoe was so big it looked like it could fit our entire family in the backhoe, and Josiah just really liked watching as it made one big scoop. It just filled up the whole back bed of the truck, and it was really neat. But for those of you who are looking for a free or maybe even discounted place to get mulch, leaf mulch, and compost, you may want to try your local landfill. A lot of times they have them for free, which they're giving away right now at our local landfill. So you may want to check out that. That could be a really neat resource for you. But also during the day, we sprinkle in some homeschooling in as part of what we're doing with our day-to-day task here on the farm. And I really don't like the word homeschool. It's more like home educated. People will use the word home unschool, but it's really home educated, and we incorporate learning into the lifestyle that we live. And Selah has been doing an excellent job here, helping me out with just some secretary type work. She was working on organizing my receipts for me, which I'm so not good at. And her and Josiah was just now working on some of the labels for the name labels for our CSA customers, writing those out and then stapling them onto the bags that we use. We don't use boxes for our CSA, we use bags, and that seems to work well. So at first they wrote all the names out in pencil, then they came back and wrote them with marker, and then I had them cut out the names and put them on the bag. So they really enjoyed doing that, but they also got in some writing for the day as well. But now sun's starting to set and we're gonna knock out harvesting the yellow dock. But before I do that, I'm gonna help Lacie here with these planters here. We got her some really neat herbs that she's gonna be putting into these beds, transplanting into these beds. But for these what are these called again?
Flue liners.
But for these flue liners here, we need to add some more soil for that. So I'm gonna be filling those up real quick before we get on that. We're also gonna spread out some of the leaf compost that we got and spread them out around some of her plants here, because that's really just gonna help be a mulch and just really help keep the moisture in the ground. So let's knock that out. All right, some of the soil that I'm gonna use to fill up those flue liners is just right back here. And I got this soil just from an area that had been excavated at the back side of the garden, so we're gonna use some of that, at least for the bottom portion of the flue liner. And then on top of that, we're gonna add some good quality compost. But as I'm adding that soil and adding both soils, the compost and this soil right here, I'm gonna be using these buckets here. And I really am a huge fan of the square buckets because they're easy to work with and stack with. The round buckets just don't quite line up and are not as efficient in working. So I really am a huge fan of these square buckets. They work with wheelbarrows, your garden carts, your dump carts. They work really well with these.
Every change has a reason, baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every season lives outside of status quo. If we stop believing we're meant to be, expanding
what are you doing?
abilities.
Whoa, are you Spider-Man? Whenever I'm setting up a wheelbarrow, I like to turn it around to make sure that wherever I'm going to be going with the heavy loads, that I'm going forward, so I don't have to worry about turning a heavy load around. Just a complete waste of energy. So just try to make it as easy as I can to go forward.
We should start living now, 'cause we only have this life. Wanna laugh and wanna cry.
Good job there, buddy.
Waste my time. So baby,
All right, carry it on down there.
living now.
Look at that strong guy. You can carry that bucket no problem. Got it?
Can you
Like
feel
this.
it?
Nice, big like
Something is
this.
behind the
Man, you were
clouds.
strong.
We just have
Where'd you get your muscles like that from?
believe
Where'd you
it.
get your muscles from?
We can make the sun
Daddy.
come
You got
out.
your muscles from Daddy.
Let us lose ourselves in a fairy tale. Who can say what's wrong or right? We're the only ones who can
Another thing about the square buckets is they can pick up the mess a lot easier. Scoop. Alrighty, now that we have these flue liners filled up with soil, again, it sets Lacie up to be able to transplant them. But the day is ending, the sun is setting, it seems like the day is going faster and faster, and there's so many more things I want to do, but it is what it is. We're gonna go ahead and harvest the yellow dock, and we'll just have to come back to this project another day, but we really do want to show you and let you learn about yellow dock, because it is a plant that is probably growing in most of your yards, those of you who are watching, and most people spray and try to get rid of these things, but there's so many benefits to the so-called weeds that are growing in your yard, and you can actually be taking advantage of these free plants that are right there for you to harvest. So let's go check it out, and let us show you what yellow dock is, and we'll talk a little bit about what it does and how it can benefit you. We're going shopping. All right, so here's the yellow dock that we have growing here in our caterpillar tunnel, which I really don't want it growing in here, but I let it go just so we could harvest it. And it's actually gone to seed right here. Most of the time when you see it in your yard, it'll look something like this, depending on how well manicured you keep your lawn. But it's pretty easy to harvest, but it works really well if you use like a broad fork or one of the digging forks to get it out. So right here we'll use this digging fork right here to get it out. And then I like to just kind of grab it at the base and wiggle it, see if it's loose. And then it usually comes out. I've seen them where the roots have been really, really thick. So this is actually one of the smaller roots that I've seen. But like I said, they can really get thick. And with the dock, You can use both the leaves and the roots, right?
Use the roots and the leaves, and I've actually read where you can use the seeds as a coffee replacement, kind of like chicory or dandelion root. I don't think it really probably tastes like coffee, but if you're trying to switch over, that's something that you could do.
We have a number of other ones around the market garden, so we're gonna get those out too.
We're going shopping for Doc.
It's funny having a shopping cart, but it needs to be modified to some off-road wheels. It gets stiff.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the roots off of these, and then I'm going to wash the roots, and after that I'm going to chop them up so I can dehydrate them a little easier. Right now all I want is the root. There's plenty of dock out here. I can get leaves anytime, so I'm just going to focus on the root today.
There's a lot of health benefits to yellow dock for our humans and for chickens. So since we're not going to use these leaves, Josiah is going to give these to the chickens. They absolutely love yellow dock. I'm going to cart those over, Josiah.
So why would you want to use yellow dock? Yellow dock is used for a lot of different things. Number one that people usually use it for is for low iron. So it's going to help if you're anemic. Yellow dock is going to help you out. It's a great blood builder. That's going to help with cholesterol, your blood pressure, so overall blood health. It's a great anti-inflammatory, which I think most herbs are. If you look up any herbs, one of the main things on almost every one that I've looked up is that it's anti-inflammatory. So this is why we need to be incorporating this plant medicine into our lives daily, because we're around so much, food pollution, all these different environmental things that cause us to be inflamed, and plant medicine is going to help you with that inflammation. I'm going to take these roots and I am going to wash them off really good and then chop them up, and I'm going to put them in the dehydrator, so that way I can use them at a later date and I will be able to store them long term.
So there you have it. Another plant that is probably growing right in your backyard or front yard that can help you take control of your health and can benefit you and your body in a number of different ways. Well, we'd like to share more videos like this with you and information within our videos about how particular plants that you're growing or you should be growing, or that may just be growing right in your backyard or in the woods somewhere near your house, that can really help you benefit your health. Why go out and buy these supplements of these plants when they're growing right near you? It's crazy. So that's it for now. Let us know what you think. If you want some more information like this in our videos on how different plants can impact your health and help you for the better, let us know. Well, that's it for now. We'll see you next time, and grow on.